Ryan Callahan disappeared on October 12, 2002, along with two friends during a planned 4-day hiking expedition in the North Cascades of Washington state. The 26-year-old mechanical engineer was reported missing by his parents after failing to return home on the scheduled date of October 14th. According to family members, Ryan had been looking forward to the trip for weeks, planning it with his childhood friends Michael Torres and Jennifer Hayes. The three had informed their families they would be hiking the Cascade Pass Trail and camping near Sahaley Arm before returning to Seattle. Ryan worked at Boeing's Everett facility, where he had been employed for 3 years, following his graduation from the University of Washington. Colleagues described him as dependable and detail-oriented, qualities that made his disappearance particularly troubling to investigators. His supervisor, James Peterson, told police that Ryan had requested time off 2 weeks in advance and had spoken about the upcoming trip during lunch breaks. Peterson stated that Ryan seemed excited but not reckless, mentioning that the group had checked weather forecasts and filed their hiking plan with the ranger station. Michael Torres, 25, worked as a paramedic for Seattle Fire Department Station 10. According to his shift commander, Michael had completed wilderness first responder training the previous summer and had experience with backcountry camping. His girlfriend at the time, Sarah Mendez, told investigators that Michael had packed his gear methodically the night before departure, double-checking his medical kit and emergency supplies. Mendez stated that Michael called her on the evening of October 11th from his apartment, saying they would be out of cell phone range but would check in immediately upon return. Jennifer Hayes was 24 and worked as a junior accountant at a firm in downtown Seattle. Her roommate, Amanda Chen, provided police with details about Jennifer's preparation for the trip. According to Chen's statement, Jennifer had purchased new hiking boots 3 weeks prior and had been breaking them in on weekend walks around Green Lake. Chen told investigators that Jennifer left their apartment on the morning of October 11th, carrying a blue backpack and seemed in good spirits. She mentioned that Jennifer had reminded her not to worry if she didn't hear from her until Monday evening. The three friends had known each other since high school in Bellingham, Washington. Ryan's mother, Patricia Callahan, explained to authorities that the trio had maintained their friendship despite different career paths. She stated that they typically met once a month for dinner and had discussed doing more outdoor activities together. According to Patricia, Ryan had mentioned this particular trip during a family dinner in late September, describing it as a chance to disconnect from work stress and spend time in nature. Michael's father, Robert Torres, told police that his son had hiked sections of the Pacific Crest Trail the previous year and felt confident navigating mountain terrain. Robert stated that Michael had shown him maps of the planned route and explained their intended campsites. According to his account, Michael emphasized that they were taking appropriate precautions and staying on established trails. Robert recalled his son saying they planned to reach the trailhead by noon on October 12th and set up their first camp by early evening. Jennifer's parents, David and Susan Hayes, provided investigators with information about their daughter's outdoor experience. Susan stated that Jennifer had participated in Girl Scouts during middle school but had limited recent hiking experience. However, according to Susan's testimony, Jennifer felt comfortable going with Ryan and Michael because of their knowledge and preparation. David told police that Jennifer had called them on October 10th to confirm she had packed warm clothing and rain gear, as her mother had suggested. The group departed Seattle early on the morning of October 12th in Ryan's 1998 Toyota 4Runner. Neighbors at Ryan's apartment complex confirmed seeing the vehicle leave around 6:30 that morning. According to the timeline established by investigators, the drive to the Cascade Pass trailhead typically takes approximately 2.5 hours. Forest Service records indicated that a vehicle matching the description of Ryan's 4Runner was parked at the trailhead lot when rangers conducted their morning patrol around 9 o'clock that day. A trail register at the trailhead contained an entry signed by all three hikers, time-stamped at approximately 9:15 on October 12th. The entry listed their planned return date as October 14th and indicated they intended to camp near Sahaley Arm. This information matched what family members had been told. Park regulations required overnight campers to file such plans, and the group had complied with all known requirements. Ryan had brought a cell phone, though coverage in the North Cascades was known to be unreliable. His final outgoing call was placed at 8:47 on the morning of October 12th, according to phone records obtained by investigators. The call was to his parents' home and lasted less than a minute. Patricia Callahan told police that Ryan simply confirmed they had arrived safely at the trailhead and would see them Monday evening. Weather conditions on October 12th were initially favorable, according to National Weather Service records from that period. Temperatures at the trailhead elevation ranged from 45 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, with partly cloudy skies. However, forecasts indicated a weather system was expected to move into the area by October 13th, bringing rain and possibly snow at higher elevations. Rangers later confirmed that such conditions were typical for mid-October in the North Cascades. Patricia Callahan stated that she began to worry when Ryan did not call by Tuesday evening, October 15th. She explained that while the group had planned to return on the 14th, she allowed an extra day, in case they had been delayed. When she had not heard from Ryan by Wednesday morning, she contacted Michael's father and Jennifer's parents to determine if they had received any communication. All three families confirmed they had heard nothing since the initial departure. Robert Torres told investigators he immediately called the Whatcom County Sheriff's Office on the morning of October 16th. According to the incident report, deputies advised the family to contact the National Park Service, as the Cascade Pass area fell under federal jurisdiction. Robert stated he then called the ranger station and spoke with personnel who confirmed that Ryan's vehicle remained in the trailhead parking lot. This information prompted immediate concern among officials. Search and rescue operations were initiated on October 16, 2002. According to official records, a team of 12 searchers, including park rangers and volunteer rescue personnel, began hiking the Cascade Pass Trail that afternoon. The search coordinator, Ranger Thomas McKenzie, later documented that conditions had deteriorated since the previous weekend. Light snow had fallen at higher elevations, and temperatures had dropped significantly. The initial search focused on the established trail route and known camping areas near Sahali Arm. Searchers located what appeared to be a campsite that had been recently used, approximately 6 miles from the trailhead. According to the official report, rangers found evidence of a fire ring and disturbed ground consistent with tent placement. However, no equipment or personal items were discovered at this location. Rescue teams expanded their search radius over the following days. According to operations logs, as many as 30 personnel participated in the effort at its peak, including specialized mountain rescue units and search dogs. Helicopter flyovers were conducted when weather permitted, though low clouds and precipitation limited aerial visibility. The search continued for 9 days, before being suspended on October 25th due to increasingly dangerous conditions and lack of any substantial leads. Jennifer's mother, Susan Hayes, told local news reporters in November 2002 that the lack of any trace was unbearable. She stated that the family had hoped to find at least some indication of what happened. David Hayes told the same reporters that they remained convinced something had gone wrong suddenly, as all 3 young people were responsible and had planned carefully. The investigation remained active, but produced no new leads throughout 2003. Detective Sarah Williams of the Whatcom County Sheriff's Office maintained contact with the families and reviewed the case file periodically. According to her notes, no credible sightings were reported, no financial activity occurred on any of the missing persons accounts, and no remains were discovered, despite continued informal searches by family members and volunteers. Ryan's employer held his position open for 6 months before officially listing him as terminated. According to company records, his final paycheck was issued in April 2003. Michael's fire department position was similarly maintained until spring 2003, when he was officially separated from employment. Jennifer's accounting firm sent her final documentation to her parents' address in May 2003. Patricia Callahan organized annual memorial hikes to the Cascade Pass trailhead, beginning in October 2003. According to participants, these gatherings brought together family members, friends, and community supporters who left flowers and photographs at the trailhead sign. Local media covered these events for the first several years, keeping public attention on the case. The families established a reward fund in 2004 for information leading to the discovery of their loved ones. According to David Hayes, the fund reached approximately $15,000 through community donations. Flyers with photographs of all three missing persons were distributed at trailheads throughout the North Cascades and posted in outdoor recreation stores across Washington state. Detective Williams told reporters in 2005 that the case remained open, but had yielded no new evidence. She stated that investigators had interviewed dozens of hikers who had been in the area during October 2002, but none reported seeing Ryan, Michael, or Jennifer. Park records showed no unusual incidents reported during that time period that might provide explanation. Robert Torres began his own research into mountain conditions and survival scenarios. According to family members, he studied maps extensively and hiked various sections of trails in the North Cascades, hoping to find something investigators might have missed. He told a Seattle newspaper in 2006 that he believed the answer was still out there, somewhere in those mountains. By 2010, media coverage had diminished significantly. The families continued to mark October 12th privately each year. According to Susan Hayes' journal entries that she later shared with investigators, the passage of time brought no peace, only different forms of pain. She wrote that not knowing remained worse than any definitive answer could be. Ryan's vehicle was eventually removed from Forest Service impound in 2008 and returned to his parents. Patricia Callahan stated that opening the doors and seeing Ryan's belongings still inside was devastating. She told a counselor that she kept the vehicle in her garage, unable to sell it or dispose of it. The case file remained accessible to the families, who periodically requested updates from law enforcement. Detective Williams retired in 2015, and the case was transferred to Detective Marcus Chen. According to his notes, Chen reviewed all previous documentation and found the investigation had been thorough given the circumstances. He concluded that without new physical evidence or witness information, the case would likely remain unsolved. Jennifer's parents moved to Arizona in 2012, seeking distance from the painful memories associated with Washington. However, according to Susan Hayes, the change of location did nothing to diminish their need for answers. She stated in a 2014 phone call to Detective Chen that they thought about their daughter every single day. Michael's father passed away in 2017 without ever learning what happened to his son. According to the obituary, Robert Torres had dedicated thousands of hours to searching for Michael and raising awareness about the case. His funeral was attended by many who had participated in the original search efforts and subsequent memorial events. By 2020, the case was 23 years old. The families had aged, some had passed away, but none had found closure. Patricia Callahan, now 72, told a victims advocacy group that she had accepted she might never know the full truth. However, she stated that a part of her still hoped that someday something would be found that would finally explain what happened on that mountain in October 2002. Ryan Callahan, Michael Torres, and Jennifer Hayes failed to return from their hiking trip on October 14, 2002, as planned. Patricia Callahan, Ryan's mother, told investigators she began to worry when her son did not call by Tuesday evening, October 15th. According to her statement, Ryan was reliable about checking in after trips. When she had not heard from him by Wednesday morning, she contacted the other families. Robert Torres, Michael's father, called the Whatcom County Sheriff's Office at 8:35 on the morning of October 16th. According to the dispatch log, he reported 3 adults overdue from a hiking expedition in the North Cascades. The dispatcher directed him to contact the National Park Service, which maintained jurisdiction over the area. Robert immediately called the Marble Mount Ranger Station and spoke with Ranger Thomas McKenzie. McKenzie checked parking records and confirmed that Ryan's Toyota 4Runner remained at the Cascade Pass trailhead. According to his incident report, this information raised immediate concern. The vehicle had been there for 4 days beyond any reasonable timeline. McKenzie activated search and rescue protocols at approximately 9:15 on October 16th. The initial search team consisted of 12 personnel, including park rangers and volunteer rescue members. According to operations logs, the team departed at 1:30 that afternoon. Weather conditions presented immediate challenges. Meteorological records showed rain at lower elevations with snow beginning around 5,000 feet. Visibility was reduced and temperatures were dropping. At approximately 4:30, as daylight faded, searchers located evidence of recent camping activity roughly 6.2 miles from the trailhead. According to McKenzie's report, They found a cleared area showing signs of tent placement and a used fire ring. The location was approximately 100 yards off the main trail. The team conducted a thorough search but found no equipment, personal items, or any indication of who had used the site or when. The discovery was both promising and troubling. Ranger Jessica Martinez told investigators that finding a campsite suggested the group had made it that far, but the complete absence of gear was concerning. She stated that experienced campers would typically leave some trace of their presence. The search team established a base camp near the site and resumed operations at dawn on October 17th. Additional personnel arrived, bringing the team to 18 members. According to the operational plan, they divided into 3 units, assigned different search sectors. One unit continued toward Sahali Arm, while 2 others conducted grid searches of surrounding terrain. Ranger David Kowalski led the unit proceeding to higher elevations. According to his report, snow depth increased significantly above 6,000 feet, reaching 6 to 8 inches in exposed areas. His team advanced slowly, checking behind rocks and fallen trees. Visibility remained poor due to fog and continued snowfall. The grid search units covered approximately 2 square miles on October 17th. According to team reports, searchers found no additional evidence. Martinez stated that the lack of findings was deeply concerning, as she expected to locate at least some small items if the group had been in the area. A search dog team arrived on October 17th. Handler Rebecca Foster and her German Shepherd, Atlas, were deployed to the campsite location. According to Foster's report, Atlas showed interest in the fire ring area but could not establish a clear scent trail. Foster stated that rain and snow likely compromised any scent evidence. By October 18th, helicopter support was added. According to flight logs, a National Guard helicopter conducted aerial surveys during brief weather windows. Pilot Lieutenant James Crawford reported that cloud cover limited visibility significantly. His crew observed no signs of distress signals, emergency shelters, or human activity. The families traveled to Marble Mount on October 18th. According to motel records, they checked into the Cascade Inn to be closer to search operations. Motel manager Dorothy Williams told investigators the families appeared devastated and spent most of their time waiting for updates. Weather conditions worsened significantly on October 19th. National Weather Service data showed a strong Pacific storm, bringing heavy rain at lower elevations and significant snowfall above 5,000 feet. Wind gusts reached 40 miles per hour. Mackenzie reported that search operations became increasingly dangerous. The search coordinator made the difficult decision to scale back operations on the evening of October 19th. According to his statement to families, continuing under deteriorating conditions risked additional lives without reasonable probability of success. Mackenzie told investigators this conversation was one of the most challenging of his career. Patricia Callahan told police she felt numb during the meeting. She stated that hearing the search might be suspended felt like abandoning Ryan. According to her testimony, she pleaded with Mackenzie to continue. Mackenzie explained that the issue was not financial, but the physical impossibility of safe searching under current conditions. Limited operations continued through October 21st, mainly aerial surveys when weather permitted. According to flight records, helicopters completed 3 passes over the search area. No evidence was observed from the air. Ground teams made a final push on October 22nd with 24 searchers. According to operational reports, they hoped something might have been missed or that new evidence had become visible. Martinez stated her team re-examined the campsite but found nothing new. The official search was suspended on October 25, 2002. According to the final incident report, searchers had covered approximately 25 square miles over 9 days, involving more than 40 personnel and multiple helicopter flights. The report concluded that no evidence had been found beyond the single campsite. Mackenzie met with families on October 25th to deliver the news. According to witness accounts, he explained the case would remain open and any new information would trigger resumed efforts. He stated that spring conditions might allow additional searching once snow melted. Susan Hayes told investigators she could barely process the information. She stated that leaving her daughter in the mountains felt impossible to accept. According to her testimony, she asked repeatedly how 3 people could vanish without any trace. Media coverage increased significantly in late October 2002. The Seattle Times ran a front-page story on October 27th with photographs of all three missing persons. Local television stations aired segments, including interviews with Patricia Callahan and Susan Hayes, both making emotional appeals for information. Detective Sarah Williams of the Whatcom County Sheriff's Office was assigned as primary investigator in early November. According to her case notes, Williams reviewed all documentation and interviewed family members, friends, and colleagues. She sought to determine if evidence suggested anything other than a hiking incident. Williams interviewed Ryan's co-workers at Boeing on November 8th. According to her report, employees described Ryan as stable and happy, showing no signs of distress. His supervisor stated Ryan had recently received a positive performance review. Nothing suggested Ryan had reason to disappear voluntarily. Michael's colleagues at Seattle Fire Department provided similar information. Captain Raymond Hughes told Williams that Michael was well-liked, professionally competent, and had applied for a specialized rescue position. Hughes stated emphatically that Michael would not have abandoned his career or family. Jennifer's co-workers at the accounting firm confirmed she was performing well and had discussed career goals openly. Manager Laura Chen told Williams that Jennifer planned to take the CPA exam the following year. Nothing about Jennifer's behavior suggested any intention to disappear. Financial records showed no unusual activity. According to Williams's report, all three accounts showed normal transactions through October 11th, then nothing. Credit cards showed purchases related to trip preparation. No activity occurred after the disappearance. Williams stated the lack of financial activity strongly suggested the disappearances were not voluntary. Cell phone records showed all three phones went offline on the morning of October 12th within a 15-minute window. According to carrier data, Ryan's phone last connected at 8:47, Michael's at 9:02, and Jennifer's at 8:55. No calls or messages were sent or received afterward. Williams interviewed approximately 30 hikers who had permits for the North Cascades that weekend. None reported seeing the missing trio. None reported unusual occurrences or concerning observations. The possibility of foul play was investigated extensively. Williams' report noted there were no known threats against any of the missing persons, no evidence of stalking, and no apparent conflicts. According to her assessment, while foul play could not be completely ruled out, there was no evidence supporting such a theory. As 2002 ended, the investigation had produced no breakthroughs. Williams's year-end summary noted all leads had been pursued, and the case remained unexplained. She stated that without physical evidence or witness information, the investigation had reached an impasse. The families struggled through the holidays. Patricia Callahan told her sister that Christmas 2002 was unbearable. She left Ryan's bedroom exactly as it had been, unable to pack away his belongings. The first anniversary in October 2003 brought renewed media attention, but produced no new leads. Detective Williams continued periodic reviews throughout subsequent years. According to her activity logs, occasional tips were followed up, but none proved credible. Spring snowmelt prompted hopes that evidence might be revealed. Williams coordinated with park rangers to remain alert as higher elevations became accessible. No relevant evidence was found in 2003 or subsequent years. By 2005, the case had largely faded from public consciousness. Williams noted that media inquiries had become rare, and tips had essentially ceased. The case remained open, but active investigation shifted to monitoring status. Detective Williams retired in 2015. According to her exit interview, the Cascade Pass disappearances remained one of her most frustrating cases. She stated she believed the investigation was thorough, but acknowledged that without evidence, some cases cannot be solved. The case transferred to Detective Marcus Chen upon Williams's retirement. According to Chen's review, he found the previous investigation comprehensive. He maintained the case in open status, but acknowledged that without new developments, investigative options were limited. By 2020, 18 years had passed. The families had aged and daily life continued despite unresolved loss. Patricia Callahan told Chen she thought about Ryan every day and would continue hoping for answers. The case file remained in Sheriff's Office records, representing thousands of hours of effort. But as Chen noted, sometimes the mountains keep their secrets, and human persistence alone cannot force revelation. On August 14, 2025, A wilderness rescue team was dispatched to the North Cascades following reports of an injured hiker near Sahali Arm. Lead Ranger Catherine Morrison told investigators that the team departed from the Marble Mount station at approximately 7 o'clock that morning. According to operational logs, the rescue involved a climber who had sustained a leg injury at high elevation and required evacuation assistance. The rescue team consisted of 6 members, including Morrison, paramedic James Chen, and 4 specialized mountain rescue personnel. According to Morrison's report, they reached the injured climber by early afternoon and stabilized him for transport. While preparing the evacuation route, team member Daniel Price noticed something unusual approximately 300 yards from their location. Price told investigators he spotted fabric partially exposed beneath rocks and debris in a steep drainage area. According to his statement, the location was off any established trail and appeared to be in a zone affected by rockfall and erosion. Price alerted Morrison, who decided to investigate after the injured climber was safely evacuated. Morrison and Chen approached the site at approximately 4:30 that afternoon. According to Morrison's detailed report, they immediately recognized they had found something significant. Partially buried beneath rock and soil was a badly weathered backpack. The fabric was faded and deteriorated, but the frame remained intact. Morrison stated she photographed the location extensively before disturbing anything. Chen carefully extracted the backpack. According to his report, the pack contained items that had been protected from complete degradation by the pack's position under the rocks. Inside, they found a water-damaged wallet. Chen stated that when he opened the wallet, he discovered an identification card for Michael Torres, issued in 2001. Morrison immediately contacted the ranger station via radio. According to communication logs, she reported the discovery at 4:52 and requested guidance on protocol. The station supervisor, Thomas Rivera, told her to secure the area and await additional personnel. Rivera stated he would contact law enforcement immediately. Detective Marcus Chen of the Whatcom County Sheriff's Office received notification at approximately 5:30 that evening. According to his case notes, Chen immediately recognized the name Michael Torres from the 2002 cold case file. He stated he felt a mixture of shock and professional urgency. Chen contacted the National Park Service and arranged to visit the site the following morning. The discovery site was secured overnight with 2 rangers maintaining position. According to their reports, they established a perimeter and ensured no contamination of potential evidence. Weather conditions remained clear, and the location was documented with additional photographs as evening light permitted. Detective Chen arrived at the site on the morning of August 15th, accompanied by a forensic team. According to his report, the location was extremely remote and required nearly 4 hours of hiking to reach. Chen stated that upon arrival, he understood why the items had remained undiscovered for 23 years. The drainage area was steep, unstable, and well off any established route. The forensic team conducted a systematic search of the immediate area. According to their report, they discovered additional items within a 50-yard radius. A second backpack was found wedged between rocks approximately 30 feet downslope. This pack was identified through remnants of an identification tag as belonging to Ryan Callahan. The condition was similar to the first discovery, badly weathered, but with some contents preserved. A third backpack was located approximately 40 yards from the first discovery. According to forensic documentation, this pack was identified as Jennifer Hayes's through personal items found inside, including a water-damaged journal with her name written on the first page. The forensic team noted that all 3 packs appeared to have been subjected to weathering, rockfall, and movement down the steep terrain over many years. Other items were recovered during the systematic search. According to the evidence log, searchers found remnants of a tent, a camping stove, water bottles, and various personal effects scattered across the drainage area. The distribution pattern suggested the items had been affected by natural processes over time, including water flow, rockfall, and possibly avalanche activity. Detective Chen contacted Patricia Callahan on the evening of August 15th. According to his case notes, the phone call was extremely difficult. Chen informed her that items belonging to her son had been discovered in the North Cascades. Patricia asked immediately if remains had been found. Chen stated that the search was ongoing, but that so far only equipment and personal belongings had been recovered. Chen made similar notifications to Robert Torres's widow, Maria, and to Susan and David Hayes. According to his documentation, all three families had the same immediate question regarding human remains. Chen told each family that specialized search teams would be conducting thorough examinations of the area over the coming days. Search operations expanded significantly on August 16th. According to operational reports, a team of 15 searchers, including cadaver dogs, was deployed to the discovery site. The team systematically covered the drainage area and surrounding terrain. Search coordinator Lisa Washington stated that the steep, unstable ground made the work slow and dangerous. On August 17th, searchers made an additional significant discovery. According to the report filed by searcher Kevin Martinez, human remains were located approximately 60 yards below the initial discovery site, partially buried under rocks and soil. The remains were in an advanced state of decomposition, consistent with exposure to elements over many years. The medical examiner's office was notified immediately. According to protocol, the remains were carefully documented in place before recovery. Forensic anthropologist Dr. Sarah Klein arrived on August 18th to supervise the recovery and conduct preliminary examination. According to Dr. Klein's report, the remains appeared to be those of a young adult, but identification would require laboratory analysis. Over the following 3 days, searchers recovered additional human remains from 2 separate locations within the drainage area. According to official reports, all remains were in similar condition, having been exposed to mountain weather, wildlife activity, and natural decomposition processes for more than 2 decades. The families were updated as discoveries were made. Detective Chen told investigators that these notifications were among the most difficult conversations of his career. After 23 years of not knowing, the families were receiving confirmation that their worst fears had likely been realized. DNA analysis was initiated immediately. According to the medical examiner's office, samples were sent to the state laboratory for comparison with DNA profiles on file for the missing persons. The families were informed that results would take several weeks. Media outlets learned of the discoveries on August 19th. According to news reports, the story quickly gained national attention. The Seattle Times ran a front-page article with the headline, "Missing Hikers from 2002 May Have Been Found." Television stations requested interviews with investigators and family members. Patricia Callahan released a brief statement through an attorney. According to the statement, she appreciated the efforts of the rescue team and asked for privacy as the family processed the developments. Similar statements came from the Torres and Hayes families. The discovery site was examined by multiple specialists over the following week. According to reports from geologists consulted by investigators, the drainage area showed evidence of significant rockfall events and possible avalanche activity. The terrain was extremely unstable, which experts stated could explain why the site had remained undiscovered despite previous search efforts. On September 8, 2025, DNA results confirmed the identities. According to the medical examiner's official notification, the remains recovered from the site were positively identified as Ryan Callahan, Michael Torres, and Jennifer Hayes. Detective Chen personally delivered this news to each family. Susan Hayes told a victim support counselor that receiving confirmation after 23 years felt surreal. She stated that part of her had never stopped hoping her daughter might somehow still be alive. The definitive answer brought a painful form of closure, but also unleashed grief that had been held in suspension for more than 2 decades. The question of what exactly happened on that mountain in October 2002 remained. The discovered evidence would need careful analysis. Investigators stated that determining the sequence of events would require examination of all recovered items, assessment of the site conditions, and consultation with experts in mountain accidents. The families finally had partial answers, but the complete truth of that final night remained locked in the evidence scattered across that remote mountainside. The forensic analysis began in earnest during September 2025. According to reports from the medical examiner's office, Dr. Sarah Klein conducted detailed examinations of all recovered remains. Her findings, released on October 3rd, indicated that the 3 individuals had sustained injuries consistent with a significant fall or slide down steep terrain. Dr. Klein stated that the skeletal evidence showed multiple fractures that likely occurred peri-mortem. Detective Marcus Chen coordinated with multiple specialists to reconstruct the events of October 2002. According to his case summary, geologist Dr. Robert Yamamoto examined the discovery site and concluded that the drainage area was prone to rockfall and small avalanches, particularly during weather events. Dr. Yamamoto stated that conditions in mid-October 2002, with rain transitioning to snow, would have created extremely hazardous terrain. Jennifer Hayes' journal, though severely water-damaged, yielded some legible entries. According to forensic document analysis, the final entry dated October 12, 2002, mentioned that the group had set up camp and that weather was beginning to deteriorate. The entry noted they planned to assess conditions in the morning before deciding whether to continue to higher elevations or return to the trailhead. Jennifer wrote that Michael was concerned about the forecast, but that spirits remained good. Examination of the camping equipment provided additional information. According to forensic reports, the tent showed damage consistent with being struck by falling rocks or caught in a slide. The positioning of recovered items suggested the campsite had been on or near the steep drainage area, possibly seeking shelter from weather. Chen consulted with experienced mountaineers familiar with the North Cascades. According to their assessment, the group likely made a critical navigation error in deteriorating visibility, setting up camp in a location that appeared safe, but was actually in the path of potential rockfall or avalanche danger. The experts stated that such mistakes were not uncommon, particularly when weather conditions changed rapidly and visibility was poor. The working theory, according to Chen's final report issued on October 15, 2025, was that the group was either attempting to break camp on the morning of October 13th or was sheltering during the night when a rockfall or small avalanche struck their location. The force would have swept them and their equipment down the steep drainage. The injuries sustained would have been immediately fatal or incapacitating, preventing any attempt to signal for help. Chen stated that the location explained why initial search efforts in 2002 had not discovered them. The drainage area was not visible from established trails, and the campsite location was well off the route the group had indicated in the trail register. Weather conditions during the original search had deposited additional snow that likely buried the evidence even deeper. Patricia Callahan received the final investigative report on October 20th, 2025. According to her statement to a victim support specialist, reading the details was devastating, but also brought a measure of peace. She stated that knowing Ryan had not suffered for days and that the end had likely been quick provided some small comfort. Patricia said she could finally stop imagining scenarios and accept what had happened. Maria Torres, Robert's widow, told investigators that her late husband would have found some solace in understanding the circumstances. She stated that Robert had spent years wondering and researching, and she wished he had lived to receive these answers. Maria said she felt the discovery honored Robert's dedication to finding his son. Susan and David Hayes held a private service for Jennifer on November 2, 2025. According to family members, the service provided closure that had been impossible for 23 years. Susan told attendees that while the pain would never fully disappear, knowing Jennifer's fate allowed them to finally grieve properly and begin to heal. The remains of all three hikers were released to their families in late October. According to funeral arrangements, each family held private services. Patricia Callahan chose to cremate Ryan's remains and scatter them in the mountains he had loved. The Torres family held a burial service with full honors recognizing Michael's service as a paramedic. The Hayes family laid Jennifer to rest in the family plot in Bellingham. Detective Chen closed the case officially on November 15, 2025. According to his final documentation, the investigation concluded that Ryan Callahan, Michael Torres, and Jennifer Hayes died as a result of a mountain accident on or about October 13, 2002, in the North Cascades. The manner of death was ruled accidental. Chen stated that while the exact sequence of events could not be determined with complete certainty, the evidence strongly supported the conclusion that a rockfall or avalanche struck their campsite. The families released a joint statement on November 20th, thanking the rescue team, investigators, forensic specialists, and all who had searched over the years. The statement expressed gratitude that the 23-year mystery had finally been resolved and requested continued privacy as they mourned their loved ones. The Cascade Pass trailhead now bears a small memorial plaque installed by the families in December 2025. According to the inscription, the plaque honors Ryan Callahan, Michael Torres, and Jennifer Hayes, and serves as a reminder of the power and unpredictability of mountain wilderness. The plaque includes a message encouraging hikers to respect nature's dangers and make careful decisions in the backcountry. Detective Chen told a reporter in December that the case represented both the best and most difficult aspects of his career. He stated that providing answers to families after more than 2 decades felt meaningful, but the tragedy of 3 young lives lost remained painful to contemplate. Chen said the case would stay with him for the rest of his life. The North Cascades remain beautiful and unforgiving, drawing thousands of hikers each year. The mountains hold countless stories, some joyful and others tragic. For the families of Ryan, Michael, and Jennifer, the mountains finally released their secret, bringing an end to decades of anguished uncertainty. The silence was broken, the traces were found, and 3 families could finally say goodbye.